Hey everyone, I'm Chris from Champion Helmets, and today I have a review of the HJC RPHA-90, and this is a great helmet, so let's just get into it. Now for those of you who are looking for a Japanese level of quality or can't quite get a Shoei yet, don't worry, South Korea has you covered with the HJC RPHA-90 series. So I'll give you a little bit of context for this helmet. This helmet is a replacement to the popular HJC MAX Evo series, and it's basically just taken a bunch of the features of that helmet and improved upon them. It's a modular helmet, like I said before, but in a little bit of a change from the last couple of helmets that I've reviewed. It's only going to open about 90 degrees and sit on top. But, you know, that's just a design feature. A lot of modular helmets are actually going to have this. So if we take a closer look at the chin bar, we'll see that it's quite strong, quite big, pretty tough looking. There's not much to really say except that when you open it, it's going to have a smooth range of motion and it's going to snap into place on top, and it's quite stiff there. And when you close it, it's going to close down onto two metal pins, so it's a nice mark of quality. And also, I should let you know that in the owner's manual of the RPHA-90, HJC recommends that you don't ride with the chin bar up, so that's just something that you should take into consideration. And the shell has been reworked. It is now premium integrated matrix, or P.I.M as they call it, and that just uses a bunch of different materials like aramid, carbon, fiberglass, and it makes it as strong and light as possible. So the helmet now weighs about 1,500 grams, or like 53 ounces, so it's pretty light and compact, especially for a modular helmet. They've also put it through a wind tunnel to close any holes in the shell and reduce noise pollution as much as they can. Alright, so if we go into the helmets, we'll notice first of all that here just above the eyes we have a couple of reflective materials, which is quite nice. It's an added safety feature. It's never bad. But the biggest changes and the most important are going to be to do with the inner liner of the helmet. That's because the inner liner is now called the Multicool 3D liner, and basically it's removable, washable, antibacterial, breathable, and also quite easy to wear the glasses, so I've been told. So it's quite good. It's a big step up to the MAX Evo inner liner just because this is 3D. I guess that the MAX Evo was a 2D cutout of a liner or something. Yeah. But all jokes aside, it's a very good liner and I'm quite happy with it. You'll also notice there's a few extra fabrics and materials. There's also one inside the visor, just below the visor here. And that's quite nice. It's just going to seal you better into the helmet and reduce that noise pollution just a little bit. Now, if we look at the visor itself, it's quite good. It has an extra wide field of vision, so you can see everything, which is typically important when you're riding a motorcycle. And the locking mechanism is also going to be a big change. That's because it is a lock on top of a lock, really. So to open it, we just lift it up and open it. It's quite simple, quite normal, quite standard. But what we can also do is this little black switch, we can just push it to the side, just like that. And what that's going to do is that's going to lock the locking mechanism for the visor. So we can try and open it, and it's not really going to work. You can force it open if you have to. It's not meant to stop you from opening the visor, it's just meant to stop it from blowing up in a strong wind. And it's quite difficult to use, really, like especially if you have a gloved hand and you're riding and you want to lock this, it's going to be almost impossible, I think. It's even hard to do really with a finger if you don't get the right angle perfect. But, you know, I think that this has been more of a precautionary measure than a something that's reactive. So you should, I think, lock it when you are going to go into a strong headwind or when you're going to be riding for a long time at high speed, and that way you're more prepared. So something that you should do before you put your glove on, rather than getting hit by a strong headwind and then trying to lock it. So if you look at it that way, it's quite a reasonable system. The visor is also prepared for a pin lock. And what's awesome is that the pin lock sits in the box, so I'm always happy with any company that does that, as you are probably all aware by now. And the RPHA-90 has a drop-down sun visor as well, so I'll show you that Right now, just easy, boom, drop down sun visor. And it's quite good, it covers quite a lot of area. You should be able to block out the sun quite well. And it's controlled via this little slider, nice and easy to use. And when you want it to stay up, you just push and it locks into place. It's, yeah, quite good. And sadly, I couldn't really test out how effective it is, because at this time of year in the Netherlands, the sun kind of just goes on holiday and it's nothing but dark and overcast weather. I have heard it was quite nice, quite easy to use and quite decent though. So by all accounts, it's a good sun visor. So now if we just take a look at the looks of the helmet, probably the biggest thing to notice is how compact it is. And also, like with that extra high chin bar, it looks pretty robust. It's a kind of sleek, tough looking helmet, I think, just because of those two factors. But where HJC and the RPHA series is really strong though, is their brand designs. That's because they get like Marvel and Disney, Star Wars designs, and they look awesome. Sadly though, they haven't really transitioned into the RPHA-90 series. Hopefully that'll happen soon. I mean, especially with the flip-up capabilities of these helmets, I reckon it'll look awesome. You could, I don't know, maybe change it so that when it's flipped up it looks different to when it's closed and something like that. I think that'd be awesome. But now if I have to nitpick, I will say that I'm not a big fan of this branding here, the HJC helmets logo, directly in the middle, quite large. I'm just not a big fan of it, but it's not really too bad if I'm honest. And the ventilation with the RPHA-90 is quite good. We get 3 vents total, which doesn't sound like much, but they're quite big and they do a decent job. So we have 1 at the front, 1 on the top, and 1 here at the back. And they're all pretty easy to use. They're all controlled by these big sliders, so you can use that with a gloved hand. Overall, I would say that the ventilation is quite good on the RPHA-90. And if we look at safety, it's DOT ECE rated, so you can rest assured that you're going to be legally prepared and that if you ever need to, this will help you out. So we also have at the bottom a metal quick release clasp. So it's pretty tough and easy to use. It should stay on your head without any issue really. So now if I just give you a few of my general impressions of the helmet, I quite like it. You may know that I'm a big fan of value, and that's what this helmet is. It's a value helmet. In terms of comfort and quality, it's going to compete with the Shoei Neotec II, the Schuberth C4, but it's just not going to get quite up there. But then again, you're not paying anywhere near as much as those helmets. So it's going to sit at a lower price point, but it's punching above its weight really. It's a good helmet, especially for the price. And especially seeing as this costs only about €50, $60 more than the Shark Evo One 2, it's pretty well priced. And you do get extra features over the Evo One 2. It's a different shell material, it's a bit stronger, it feels a bit tougher. And while it's not necessarily a problem with the Shark, some people like that. Plus you're going to have better noise reduction and better ventilation and that kind of thing. It's just a higher quality helmet. So you really get a bit of bang for your buck for that €50 or something like that. Plus, it looks good and there's a possibility of those designs coming out, like I said before. Hopefully they do. If I have to nitpick something, like I said before as well, it's just that HJC logo. I'm not a big fan of it, but you know, whatever. And then, while I was coming up with this review, I found a few different things online and just by asking around that people really spoke about with this helmet. So I'm just going to go through and kind of discuss some of the top ones with you. The first one was it loud? That was really a contentious topic online. A lot of people said it was either the worst helmet they've ever had or the best helmet they've ever had. So there wasn't much in the middle. But basically, what it's going to come down to is your experience. If you've never had a flip-up helmet before, it's going to be louder than full face. If you've only ever had a Shoei Neotec II, it's going to be a lot louder than a Shoei Neotec II. But also, if you have a bad fit, that's also going to be a problem for you. Then you're going to get air coming in and causing trouble. Other than that, it is good, especially for the price point. You know, it's pretty decent. And then we have what happened to the MAX Evo. This took over its place. MAX Evo is gone, this is in. And you should never really want a MAX Evo anyway, because this is better in every way, and it's at the same price. So there's not any real reason to really be concerned about getting a MAX Evo. And then some people are asking what are the sizes like, and this is a sticking point for some people because there aren't many sizes. There's 4. You have S, M, L, XL. So I hope you fit one of them. If you don't, you're gonna have to look for a different helmet because, yeah, only 4 sizes is very limiting. So at championhelmets.com, we have a really good deal for you guys. In the product bundle, you can get an RPHA-90 and a Kato Pack Talk Bold comm system for 25% off. That's one of the best comm systems out there on the market, and it's at a pretty much 50% off price. So if you really want to, just give the helmet away and take the comm system for yourself, because the Kato is typically already around half the price of the RPHA-90. So I'm Chris from Champion Helmets, and this was our review of the HJC RPHA-90 modular helmet. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. If you have any experience with this helmet or any stories, then we would love to hear them. You can also really help out another rider who's maybe looking to make a decision about this helmet. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.